Welcome, everybody, to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. How's everybody doing today? It's so nice to see everybody. We have an amazing guest coming to us from Los Angeles, from Hollywood, a legend. Those of you who grew up with the Saturday morning animated specials and so much more, you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the iconic television creator and producer and puppeteer extraordinaire, Marty Krofft. Yes, the other half of Sid and Marty Krofft Pictures, Productions, and responsible for putting smiles on so many faces over many, many decades and continuing to do that today. I'm talking about iconic television programs that so many kids grew up with, like H.R Pufnstuf and Sigmund and the Sea Monsters and Land of the Lost. And that's just a few. I mean, a lot of people know those, of course, involvement with the banana splits and, of course, even McDonald's, yes, and the Brady Bunch hour and the Variety Hour, and having worked with some of the incredible greats like Donnie and Marie and Patti LaBelle, and the list goes on and on and on, with lots of other specials too, non-kid oriented. But it is those kids programs, those Saturday mornings when millions and millions of kids would turn on their television sets and they would see all of those characters and beloved programs that are still referenced and still talked about today. We're so excited to have Marty Krofft of, again, Sid and Marty Krofft Productions on our show, joining us in just a second. Just want to show you, do any of these bring back memories for you guys? Absolutely. There's H.R Pufnstuf, of course. How could you forget H.R? And of course, Land of the Lost, iconic. Absolutely. And again, these series are still talked about. They are in the annals of broadcast and television history. And again, so many kids, generations of kids have grown up on them. And then there's been, DVD releases, as they are celebrated continually. Extraordinary with the background of puppeteering. Both Marty and his brother Sid really took this one step further into an iconic situation with all of these incredible productions, and they're still revered today. Remember Lidsville as well, of course, and the world of Sid and Marty Krofft at the Hollywood Bowl, and the Brady Bunch hour. Yes, the Brady kids and Florence Henderson, and of course Robert Reed, and the kids as well. Yeah, so many. These are, again, just a few of the many productions. There they are, of course, the Star Walk of Fame in Hollywood, Donnie and Marie, I mean, the banana splits, I mean, you name it. They have worked with so many. And I'm very excited about this because all of these shows that we're talking about, have a special place in my heart, and I know in yours as well. So why don't you join me? We're going to check in. We are live right now. We welcome everybody. Why don't you join me in welcoming our wonderful guest, Marty Krofft, live and direct from, again, Hollywood. And for those of you watching for the first time, we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV, and also click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, which is what we do here daily, bringing back the lost art of conversation, sort of like Dick Cavett and Carson, Mike Douglas, Merv Griffin, with a modern vibe and a modern twist of today. And also give this episode a like and a thumbs up on our YouTube channel. Leave a comment for us too. We would absolutely love that. That would be really appreciated by us here at the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Without further ado, we're going to check in with some of our viewers who have been commenting throughout. We call them the Lovities. That's right, the Lovities, because I said the show has a lot of light, love, and levity in the summertime last year, and I said that too fast, and now came the word Lovity, and you know what happened? Now we have a Lovity squad. They call me Mr. Lovity. They call this Lovity Hall here at the Jim Masters Show Live, and we love that. The iconic Marty Krofft is seated at his desk, and we are so excited to welcome him to our show. Join me. Clap your hands, gang. I can hear all around the world. Marty Krofft is here. And Marty, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here. I think your microphone looks like it's muted. So I think they have to unmute your sound so we can hear you. There's a little mute button there that's probably muted. But there is Marty. You can see him. He's got a nice tan. He's looking good. He's at his office. And they're going to unmute that little microphone there. And then we will, he has his assistant there who's guiding and helping. Now, you guys, you're still muted there on your end. You see the screen. You see the little slash through the microphone icon next to your name. That shows that you're still muted. There you go. All right. You are. How could Marty Krofft ever be muted? Well, you are unmuted, sir.
For 30 years. He's my head engineer.
He's the head of audio, huh?
This is live.
This is live. Right? Exactly right.
I didn't know anything. After hearing you, you almost as many shows as us.
Yeah. Yeah. Working with PBS and all the other things, and then this series. It's really an honor and a pleasure to have you here, Marty.
I got to one thing. I'm sorry. Bill,
oh, yes.
I want to see. Now that you messed up my sound. Okay. So anyway.
Can I have one too? Wait, I don't have a bill. It's nice to see you. And I just want to say, which I said off the air to you personally, thank you so very much, you and Sid, your brother, of course, for the many, many decades of incredible entertainment and joy and pleasure that you have and continue to deliver to so many people, and especially the kids. You really, some of the things that were iconic during that time: Sesame Street, Electric Company, Sid and Marty Krofft Productions. I mean, all of this was part of the fabric of childhood in America and beyond for so long. And again, with the use of the puppets. And tell us early on, it really is
I have to tell you, there were only 3 networks.
Yes, at that time.
ABC, NBC, and CBS. So that meant that every kid in America that was watching kid shows saw some or all of our shows. That's why when I go to New York and walk on Broadway and stop 10 adults, 5 of them at least can sing the theme song still. So we have screwed with their minds, and they're still okay. So that's the good part. And of course, all of our kid shows, I guess, were the big thing we did. But we did, we did a couple of big primetime shows for families and kids. We created the Donnie and Marie show, that series. We became the one on ABC on our first primetime show. Then we did Mandrell, and the Mandrell sisters that was in the top 10,
Donnie and Marie. So that's right.
The other day I added up the stars I could think of that I got to do these shows, because that I did. I not only traveled everywhere, my brother really didn't, and I sold all the shows. I got them on, which was the first creative thing I did. Beyond all the creativity,
yes.
When you get the show on, okay.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we must have had over 100 working for us over the years. I mean, I don't even know. I thought of a few today. I just realized today I had Ronald Reagan's son in a show called Red Eye Express on CBS. I had a phone call, father from the White House. I thought it was one of my guys doing his voice. So I kept saying, "Would you stop it, Randy?" And he said, "No, this is me, the president. I love the show. I saw it last night." So that came out today. I just thought of that today.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. Yes, Donnie and Marie, of course, and some of these other wonderful productions. Worked with Patti LaBelle as well, right?
Oh yeah, we had a Patti LaBelle career for the second time. I went to New York, and so that's what that was. I always tell people that was most creative thing I did, even
Yeah.
though I was involved with everything. But I run the company, which is not easy. And, so like I said, getting the shows on is the big
Yeah.
thing.
Is the
People
big
talk
thing.
about doing it, but never get
Yeah.
it done.
Would never
So
get it
we
done.
do a lot.
Absolutely. Now, your father, a big influence early on for you and your brother, right? Tell us about your father.
Let me tell you, I don't have information on that.
Yeah.
I was very young when my dad died. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm hearing all
Yeah.
these stories from my brother,
Yeah.
and my brother can make up a lot of stories. So I don't know the real ones, the not real ones. So he has all the stories. So I'll give you his phone number. You can go talk to him because my dad was involved with the puppets, but I don't know how involved because it's not a great time in our lives. We moved from Canada, ultimately wound up in the Bronx with no money, destitute. My major in school was survival in the Bronx, which is a joke. So anyway, that was,
Yes.
I made it on our own. We didn't,
Yeah.
no one, just a company. So we did this. So it started
Yeah.
from, I was able to raise the money to do the first show, which was Les Poupées de Paris, our adults
Yeah.
only puppet show. And that made it for us. And so anyway, so that's, so my background, I'm a kid. I'm 10 years younger, approximately, than my brother. Okay.
Yes.
Look that your brother looks after you. That's another story. But anyway, so, look, we just never give up, just kept on going.
Wow.
We're still
Yes.
we're the only independent around us left from all the kids coming. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Right.
Barbara, they died, sold out, or they went bankrupt. So
Yes.
we've been surviving for all these years. I mean, our company's been around for 50 years. I've been running this thing.
Yes.
So gotta be grateful that this is happening.
Absolutely.
And look, the fans are the most important. They've hung in with us. And I'll
Yes.
tell you the truth, I'm working on a bunch of things that the best is yet to come.
Oh, that's
And luckily,
fantastic.
I've got a daughter, Deanna, who runs things here. She's a good producer, great producer. I got two other daughters that are very talented. So the company's going to go on no matter what happens to me. So
That is wonderful.
look, I show up during this pandemic. I'm doing this from my office at CBS. I've been coming here since last June. So I've been taking a chance doing it. So far, everything's been okay. Now, my brother supposedly hasn't left his house. Okay.
Yeah.
So he must be more fear than me.
Yeah.
I'm in no fear. That's the good
Yes.
part.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's
Our viewers are
part
just
of the
our viewers are just commenting greetings from Canada and all over the world, and they just, love your productions. They love all of the shows that you're talking about, and there's a real connection to them. They were unique. What the flavor and the feeling of your productions has not been copied. It's just a certain feel and look. Tell us about that.
So that what we did, we never copied. We never did shows off of toys, off of other shows. So what I've done is right now, I thought that it was time to open up a Krofft store so the fans could get stuff, because it's hard to get with our stuff, because we never really, we did that. We didn't, look, somebody major in the business said, Marty, you did the wrong thing. You should have been in my business. This is the guy that ran networks and studios. And he said to me, if you would have done what I do, you would be running a studio today. But I know what you did, Marty. You went after the fame and not the cash. And it was right. So that's why I was so.
Yes. Tell us, obviously, Marty, early on, um, the fantasy programs offered, large-headed puppets, high concept plots, and extensive use of the different special effects. And was it Hanna-Barbera that approached you guys to build the Banana Splits walk-around costumes for their
Yeah, I knew
NBC
Joe
show?
Barbera. Yeah, I knew Joe Barbera, not my brother. I literally did that. He called me and he wanted me to go to his office and he said, "We're doing this show. We don't know how to do it. We never did live, and we're working on these characters called the Banana Splits." So we wound up creating the costumes, building the characters, which were the stars, and then they asked us to direct a few, so we did that. So that was not our show though. That was the Hanna-Barbera. They were talented, Hanna-Barbera. Joe Barbera
Yes.
and Bill were great, but we
Yeah.
get a lot of dialogue giving us credit to do the entire Banana Splits, which we
Right.
didn't do. We did enough
Right.
there to make it
Yeah.
happen. So we can take some credit for that.
Absolutely. This photo here, Marty, I absolutely love. Do you recall this particular one here? It's from H.R Pufnstuf.
Absolutely. I've seen this
Yeah.
before. That was our camera. Look at the camera. Jeez. That was
Yeah.
Jack Wild. Sid says to me, "Why don't you go get Jack Wild?" I said, "Well, good. Where is he?" "Oh, he's in London." I said, "Well, why don't you go?" "I'm sorry. I can't go. I got to feed my cats." "Okay." So I go to London. Of course, I get Jack Wild. I made a big mistake. I became his guardian. He lived in
Yeah.
he brought his brother, and I had 3 daughters in the house. So
Yeah.
that was interesting for a couple of years. But Jack was I got him when he was nominated for an Academy Award for Oliver. He played the Artful Dodger. I
That's
took him to
right.
the Academy Awards. We sat in the first row, and the first award is not the main actor, so it's a support. So of course the guy got up there, and I had Jack Wild sitting with me. So he said that now the winner is Jack Alberson. So that was depressing. So he didn't go to a
Albers.
third.
Yeah. Wow.
Jack
That
Wild,
is,
like unbelievably talented.
yes. How did the idea of H.R Pufnstuf come to fruition, Marty?
Well, we had a show at the World's Fair in San Antonio called Hemisphere, and we did that for the Coca-Cola Company. They built us a theater with about 700 seats, and we did a show called Kaleidoscope, and there was a character that was created by our company called Luther, and Luther wound up being Pufnstuf. Luther became like the symbol of John Connolly was the governor of Texas, and when they gave John Connolly Day to him, in San Antonio, they asked Pufnstuf to be the co-host, who again was Luther. So that's, so while we were building the Banana Splits, head of Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, and NBC came to our factory to see what we were doing. And then the head of programming for NBC looked on my ear and said, "Why don't you create your own show and I'll buy it?" So that's how it started. And that's how we got Pufnstuf on the air.
Yeah. And when Pufnstuf initially debuted on television, I know kids went wild. What was the initial reaction? Because it was never seen before. Nothing like this has been seen before. It was revolutionary.
Well, I must tell you that NBC knew it was a hit. The
Yeah.
problem I had was the budget was always our problem.
Yeah.
So my brother would always say, "Don't worry, I have it," but he didn't.
Yeah.
So we were $800,000-900,000 over with no way there. So I went to the head of programming. He says, "Well, I can't give you any money." But he says, you know David Sarnoff? I said, well, who's David Sarnoff? He created NBC and he owns RCA. Why don't you go see him? I don't know him. So he said, no, go in. He's a nice guy. So I went in there. I got to tell you the truth. I walked out of his office with $300,000 to begin with. So that was the beginning of our recovery.
Yeah.
So then I went to a few people that we did business with. People always trusted us, and we're trustworthy, and we've never really hung anybody up. And we've done the best we could to treat people fairly. And sometimes it's hard to do that in LA. But most important to me is to make sure that we, the people fairly that have contributed to all our success, which are thousands. It's never going to be myself. Okay?
Right.
We did not do all this alone. If we were Picasso, we say, okay, we painted the picture alone, but we're not Picasso.
Well, in your own way, you were.
At the top of the show, identify, write me, write me, send me a text, whatever. So like I began to say, we opened up this store only like 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
And it's getting all this action, new to us. And so we're just seeing where that goes. So that the fans are real happy that we're doing it.
Yes.
Maybe it'll be a big thing. We'll see.
Now, is it an online store or a physical store?
It's an online store, and we have a lot of stuff already that we're doing. If you want Freddie the Flute, we'll make one for you. It's going to be special. We're not going to just, we're going to do things that are special, one of a kind. So I think that's where we're at. Well,
I am definitely going to have to partake in that store because the items that we grew up with have to come here to the Jim Master Show Live because we've got the I Dream a Genie bottle already. And we have Casper is with us. Casper's been here for a while. And we even have from Dreama Denver, Bob Denver's wife, who was a guest on the show.
Really?
Gilligan is here as well.
I got him. So, by the way, since you want to do something, build down what I should tell you.
Yes.
If you want to find us at sidandmartykrofft
Sid and Marty Krofft Archives.com. Absolutely.
Find all the stuff in the store.
That is fantastic. That is wonderful. That's exciting for people to hear that, not just collectors, but again, people who have been, following your career and all of these shows for a long time. Another fabulous one.
The funny thing is I'm getting emails and, and texts saying, thank you for opening up the store. We finally can see the stuff you got, so we're just beginning with. So we'll see where that goes.
Absolutely.
But coming, we're in the television movie business. So there are things coming still, and they're going to come no matter whether I'm running the place or not. Because I got Deanna, my daughter, and she's got her sisters. And between the three of them, no one can say no to them. Okay, so I'm lucky. My daughters are.
You are blessed. You're definitely blessed, Marty. Absolutely. And that's so wonderful. Here's another one that we grew up with, Land of the Lost. What was the initial idea for this iconic series, Marty?
Well, I think that no one had done dinosaurs to start with. And then we were interested in doing a family. And then I had a friend, who's not with us now, who came in, who was very talented and helped us with this thing, and so, this was an evolution of something I think that we really had a love for. And you never know when you're creating this stuff, what happens. So this thing, of course, is iconic. And, just so that you know, we have about 15 properties, 15 IPs that are all, I think, valuable, from Pufnstuf to Lost Saucer, to the Krofft Super Show, to Sigmund, So we have all that, and it isn't all in the past, because
That's
we've,
right.
out of 14, 15 shows, we've had 11 or 12 deals made. We've had a few series of them, like Sigmund at Amazon, and we had the Woman and Diner Girl. That was a big hit for us, and we only had a few episodes. And we
Yeah.
had that. We made that with Legendary. So there's all, we've had a big success with a new one called Mutton Stuff. I did that one. I came up with that one, figuring that a show with dogs, kids, and puppets would work.
Yeah.
So, and I did this show and got 78 episodes out of it at Nickelodeon. So that isn't totally dead yet. So this got canceled because the executives got canceled with us, right? And that
Yeah.
happens all the time. So just recently we had a hit show, and so that's, I mean, what we go for hits. We've done about 20 pilots total in our career, and got about 18 on the air and about 6 hits. That's a better batting average than Joe DiMaggio had.
Yes. That is exactly right. So Land of the Lost really became a hit, and just is still talked about. I know, they have comic cons and conventions and all of these where you could meet some of the, the actors, actresses who were in, like Wesley Orr and others who were in these shows of yours. There is just this fan base for these shows that continues today, like with Land of the Lost. Yeah.
I go to all the Comic Cons. My brother doesn't go anymore, so the last 2 years I went, and we do panels with 1,000 seats, and they all come to see us. We have nothing to say, and it's all from the heart.
Yes.
So we bring with us like David Arquette, and we bring personalities with us, and so I go and I do those panels, and I think we've since day one at Comic-Con. But I just canceled that on the one that's happening the next few days. Just, just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Tell you the truth, I was afraid to go do it. There's too many people they let into that place.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Comic-Con?
Yes. Actually, I was at one recently, and there were several people there from all the different television shows and so much more. And recently we had on the show a couple of weeks ago, Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver, and he was fantastic. And he goes to several of those as well, too, to greet people. And Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, and on all of them. It's just really amazing.
Yeah, we're close with him and
yes.
his wife.
Yes.
Son. I had the son. The show that we had at Nick was stuff. Like I said, with 15 dogs. I had his son on. And of course, Lou came with his wife. These are super people.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And how did you come up with Sigmund and the Sea Monsters? There's, of course, Johnny Whitaker. People also know from Family Affair. He played Jody. How did you come up with this idea? Again, another one that everybody fell in love with.
Okay, the first thing happened was I'm at work, and my brother comes to the office and says he found a piece of seaweed in the ocean. I said to myself, uh-oh, what is happening here? Let's do a show with the seaweed. So that's about started. So we did a show, we called him Sigmund. And then I needed to get a kid. So I always went for the talent that had series that were just coming off.
Yes.
Like Jim Davis, like Bob Denver just came off Gilligan. So Johnny Whitaker, that we brought into the show. He was tremendous. And we created a show around Sigmund and his brothers. And we had guests. In fact, on that one, we had whatever Margaret, the witch from Wizard of Oz. I can't think of her last name.
Hamilton.
Margaret Hamilton.
Yes.
So she said to me, I said, "You're the best witch." She said, "No, I'm not. You have the best witch in the world, Witchy Poo, Billy Hayes." So, we had her as a guest. So
Oh,
we always
yeah.
did that kind of thing. We always brought in talent. We always gave new people a break. We loved having young new people. We still do. I find that very important to do that. Sometimes you
Yes.
have a problem getting them approved, but
Yeah.
fight for it, and we sometimes get it.
That's so
So Sigmund, of
incredible.
course, Sigmund, we had another series at Amazon. Okay, so
Yes.
just happened. So that's why the library of our shows is not far from dead,
Right.
and we got about 7 more or 8 more that could be movies easily.
Oh,
So that's
absolutely.
so. But we have other things we create that
Yeah.
nothing to do with the library, but they're for families and kids.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a great shot of you guys as well. And here is Lidsville. Tell us about the idea for Lidsville, Marty.
Well, I don't remember exactly what happened,
Yeah.
but we always loved villains that were funny,
Yeah.
and I think that we came up with the idea of Charles Nelson Riley
Oh,
being
yes.
the villain, and then I think we created a show around all that. I'm not really sure, but that's about it. And then
Yeah.
talking about the life of our shows, I made a deal on Lidsville. Jeffrey Katzenberg loved Lidsville. So let's do an animated version of Lidsville, A Dream. So ultimately, by the time we finished the development, they decided to sell the company to Universal.
Yeah.
But we had another deal going. I mean, people interested in our shows, okay?
Yeah.
Especially the ones who grew up with them, And of course, that's the thing that's important for me, to have people creatively that have the goosebumps from their childhood. Because if you
Yes.
don't, it's a whole different thing.
That's
So
right.
anyway,
Absolutely. Everybody would look for these graphics, and they knew what they were going to get with you guys, just the uniqueness of what you've done. Also, this too, the world of Sid and Marty Krofft, the Hollywood Bowl. Tell us about that.
well, let me see. Well, that happened after we did Sigmund, and the head of talent, the head of booking at the Hollywood Bowl said you should do a Pufnstuf show one night. So that's how it happened. So we started with the world of Sid Marty Krofft, and I said, wait, let me go get the Brady Bunch to be on it and have to
Yeah.
perform. I got
Yes.
them. So that helps. So we did about 12, 13,000 people that night, which is
Yeah.
phenomenal for
Yes.
something that new. So that was an interesting show. It was one time only.
Yes, as a one time only, but quite epic as well, for sure. Also, in addition to that, you mentioned the Brady Bunch, who, of course, so many of us, were raised on, and it's still on today. And I did have a wonderful opportunity to know and meet and chat with Florence Henderson, and she was so spectacular, such a wonderful person. And she told me that she wrote back to everybody that wrote to her. She knew the importance of the roles that she played in her career, and especially as Carol Brady on the Brady Bunch. And she would write back to the kids and the fans. Such a beautiful, beautiful person. You had the opportunity not only to work with her, but, the whole group when you put together the Brady Bunch Hour. Tell us about the idea for the Brady Bunch Hour and the variety specials.
Well, it happened. It happened in a not a strange way, but Michael Eisner was running ABC, and we were doing Donnie and Marie and Fred Silverman, And so he said, look, I want to move up to Provo. That's where they live. And you don't
Yeah.
want to go there. So he said, you already created the show.
Yeah.
He said, why don't I'm moving to Paramount. Paramount owns the Brady Bunch. Why don't
That's
you
right.
do a variety show with the Brady Bunch? That's how it happened. Now, of course, I became friends with all those people. They were great. They were great kids, and Florence was great. You know, I got real close to her, and you're right. She loved her fans, wrote back to everyone. She was
Yeah.
a first-class, talented human being,
Yes.
you know. And, you know, and the kids had a lot of talent. In variety, it's a little tricky, you know. So we had a season, and that was it, you know.
Yeah.
So that, but you know what? You couldn't kill that show with a baseball bat. That show still, you know.
Right.
It
Yeah.
really,
I mean, it was epic.
even
You
the
had
show,
you had
even
the
the show we
swimming
made.
pool with the you know the people in the
Oh
swimming
yeah.
pools. I mean, you really pull out all the stops.
We didn't want to have dancers, so we built a swimming pool on another sound stage, and had like 16 swimmers. Okay, that went up to the rafters and dived, and so they're unusual. You know, with Danya Marie, we had ice skaters. That was another idea I had. You know, let's
Yes.
have them on ice skates when they open the show. It'll be funny because they can't even skate. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so the Brady Bunch was an interesting show. Had a lot of stuff on those shows, and
Yes.
they're not. It's not easy to do this. I mean, you're
No.
always auditioning. You know, you first
Right.
got to sell the show, then you got to get it on, you got to make it, and you got to hope the audience likes it. And if they like it, you got to make sure everybody knows. And you got to
Yes.
get with the networks that like the show that they can pick it up again. There are
Yeah.
too many, but that's what we do.
That's what you do. And the Bugaloos too. Another classic.
Right. Well, yeah, you know, that was our second series, and that was during the British invasion, the Beatles.
That's
So
right.
I went to London to find the Bugaloos. We wanted them to be English. I had them lined up for 3 blocks in the winter at EMI Square in London. And so I picked, I was there by myself. I picked the 4 Bugaloos, did the best I could, and came back. And I'll tell you, you know, that's still alive.
Yes.
Caroline Ellis, who was the one girl, it was one of the songs we had. You know, I had Charlie Fox do the music on
Oh,
Puff,
the
and
best. Yeah.
legendary. He wrote a small song called "Killing Me Softly." He did the
Yes.
Pufnstuf chorus.
Yes. The
So,
Love Boat and Love American Style theme and so much more. Charlie Fox. Yeah.
so anyway, so Caroline did the song "Senses of the World." I said then in '71. So about 6 months ago, I got a phone call from London. A group called Brothers called the Chemical Brothers. They wanted to do a sample of that song, a new song. That's a song that was done in '71. I think it wound up being #1 just recently. So anyway, so that's just the example of our stuff not being able to be killed.
Right.
Like I said, by a baseball bat.
Yes. I mean, those years, especially with the specials, did you ever cross paths? I'm sure you did. I don't know if you've ever, collaborated with them, but with Rankin and Bass.
Well, I knew Rankin and Bass. I don't remember ever really working with them. I think one time we tried to work together in the '70s, and it didn't happen. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't remember why, but did you know those guys?
Arthur Rankin Jr. and Jules Bass, just prolific for so many specials and just that
Yeah,
that stop action
they
sort
were
of.
talented. You
Yeah.
know, they were talented. Look, there were a
Yeah.
lot of people making these kid shows. You know,
Yes.
they were. You know, the only problem was the kid shows got lost because you know that everybody thinks about prime time only. So that's why we said, hey, we're going to do prime time too. So we did. I don't know, we did about 6 or 7 shows in prime time, and we were lucky enough to have top 10 and #1.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. The Krofft Super Show for ABC too, another one that was quite popular.
That was one that Fred Silverman picked up, you know,
Yeah.
to
Yep.
go to New York. And he was the guy that had a lot of ideas. And of course, he headed up at one time first CBS, then ABC, and then NBC. So I did shows with him in all three networks. But he was, you know, he was like my mentor with Eisner. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You
so you
even
know, we
had,
had people that take care
oh,
about it.
absolutely. There was, and again, you mentioned, what was it like being involved with the Donnie and Marie show? Again, another uh, show that became very popular, beloved, iconic, really solidified Donnie and Marie on, the American landscape, music and television. I mean, the Osmonds, of course.
You know, it's still happening now. I should have
Yes.
got the action, but I didn't have it. You know, but they
Yeah.
were 16
You and
and
Andy
7,
Williams, right? Yes.
16 and 17. And then, you know, my daughters were happy. I used to stop shooting and bring them to my house
Yeah.
to come sing happy birthday to one of my kids. So
Uh,
they were great. And then the brothers were, you know, they were very involved, the Osmond brothers. But
yes.
it was Donnie and Marie, and then Jimmy, the young brother, he was talented. So we had him on. You know, they were kind of hiding him, but we pulled
Yeah.
him out of the bushes, and he was very talented. So we did the first 2 seasons of that, and we created the show.
You
You know,
did. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
that's what we did.
Yeah, those shows were so popular. Donnie Marie, and of course Sonny and Cher. I mean, all of them at that time. Tony Orlando and Dawn. I mean, all of these shows, these variety shows, music and dancing and comedy, and Paul Lynde usually appearing on all of them almost.
Well, that all got lost when
Yeah.
MTV happened. You know, MTV
Yes.
killed variety, and
Variety. Right. Yes.
you
Yeah.
know that's what happened.
Right.
Then
Exactly.
something else killed MTV, right? Someone,
Exactly. Right. Probably the internet. Even involvement with McDonald's as well, right? Tell us about that.
which one? I didn't hear that. Sorry.
McDonald's? You guys
Oh
worked
yeah,
with McDonald's, yeah, creating
McDonald's.
characters.
The real quick thing is that they came to us and they wanted to do McDonald Land, a la Pufnstuf, is what I heard. But then the next thing I heard was doing it without us, and Mayor McCheese was Pufnstuf. The Hamburglar was Witchy Poo. So we decided to not let them get away with it. So, you know, I'm not interested in doing this anymore. So
Yeah.
we definitely did a lawsuit with McDonald's, and our lawyer said, "Don't do it. You'll never work again." I was so young, I didn't care.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that it took 13 years, and our case is the leading copyright case in the world, copyright. So so, you know, so they lost, you know. But I'll tell you the truth, if I had to do it again,
Yeah.
it's just too much stomach lining to do
It's
it.
yes.
It was a great win. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Tell you an anecdote story about
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah, love to hear it.
Okay. We beat them. We were living in meaning my kids and their mother we were living in San Ynez. Ray Kroc had a place called the Happy Ranch in San Ynez. So after this whole thing was over, I was driving, looking for his house, and I had the windows down, and my elbow was out the window. As I drove past his house, a bee came and stung me. I had to go to the emergency room. So they were waiting for McDonald's to sting me. That's my McDonald's.
How come you never did stand-up comedy, Marty? I love it.
I just did it.
Yeah.
Hour. You said that comedy.
The sit-down comedy. Far Out Space Nuts. And there's Bob Denver there. Yeah, tell us about that.
And Chuck McCann.
Chuck
They were great
McCann.
together. They were like Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bob was great. And that was a really good show, Far Out Space Nuts. So that, so this is another one of our properties.
How did you come up with the idea for that one?
You know what? I have a blank. But I do remember that I think Spielberg and George Lucas were in the same studio, and they were coming to our stage to watch it, and they were looking at this character we had. They ultimately did their character with the big movie, right?
Right. Yeah.
Who was the character? The biggest movie they did. They copied. They said they copied our. Oh God, that's horrible. But you know what?
That's
so.
funny.
Anyway, I can't remember it in a second. You don't even remember it. What was the name of the movie? What was the name of the movie?
The Spielberg movie?
Yeah, with the little character that was
E.T. E.T.
Huh?
E.T.
E.T.
Yeah, the extraterrestrial. E.T. Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah.
So you helped. Yeah, so that I think E.T. was created on the set of Far Out Space Nuts because they used to come in and sit and watch us do it. I don't know whether they were looking for that character or they liked Bob Denver and Chuck McCann.
Yes. This was a special moment too, of many. The Emmy, getting Emmys for the work, and I know never done for the accolades, but obviously the recognition for job well done and all of the work, and of course this as well, the Walk of Fame. Tell us about some of these. There's Danielle Dadigan, who was a guest on our show too, from the Hollywood Museum, and you see all of these fantastic folks here. Tell us about, what this moment was like for you, Marty.
Well, the moment was great. I'll tell you, the best thing is when I drove in the morning at about 9 o'clock in front of the Funko building where they were doing a star right in front of their door. I looked in the street and there were about 300 kids, waiting in line. So I figured they thought it was the Rose Parade.
Yeah.
No, they were sleeping overnight waiting for us. So that was a big feeling. And getting that that's a special thing. We had 100 people showed up. So that was, then we did sign the autographs for about 3 hours.
Yes.
And it was a positive thing. So,
yes.
So I'm going to make sure I don't sell the Emmy. That's it. Everybody their awards.
Right.
Or their rings. Right.
Right. Now you also did Bobby Vinton's Rock and Rollers for CBS too, right?
Right. Well, he was a friend of mine, so he wanted to do another show, and it was already a little late in his career, but talented as he can be. But Bobby was just a great person, and we surrounded him with, Laverne and Shirley, Penny Marshall, and on, who we had on that show. So what happened was we had a great rating, but the guy that was the head of programming at that time didn't like Bobby Vinton, so he just didn't pick us up. But we had the pilot did big numbers. I couldn't believe it that we didn't get picked up, but it was. So those, there are so many things that go on quickly, or people's,
that
who they like, they don't like, So
and that stops. Right, exactly. Yes, absolutely. You did the Bay City Rollers show for NBC as well. They were very popular in the day. The Bay City Rollers. Yeah, well, that must have been fantastic working on that. There
was one problem. They had this accent that nobody could understand. So that was a problem. But they were, hey, they were supposed to be the next Beatles. It
That's
never
right.
happened. Yeah.
No, yeah, I remember that. And they said Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters series, very popular on NBC as well.
We brought country music first time to the whole country. That's what happened. We had every country star at that time on our show. So that show worked, and it worked.
Yeah,
And the other thing, we had one big failure. You know, in Atlanta, at the World of Sid Marty Krofft, the amusement park downtown, that thing should have worked. We were at the wrong place at the wrong time, possibly the wrong people. But there was like the eighth wonder under a roof. It's beyond that. Now, usually when you have something that fails, you never see it again.
Right.
But our building is the Omni downtown. Who do you think it is? CNN. So I have to look at this thing every day because I like CNN. Okay. So we had like a pinball ride where you get inside of a pinball and you get hit through the machine. Okay.
Yes.
That was one of the attractions. And we had an escalator that we built for $1 million, freestanding, that went up to the entrance. So, I mean, we had problems. We were there for a year and had about 700,000 people, but couldn't make it financially. The banks wouldn't hold out. They were going to lose more.
They were going to lose more.
18% then.
Yes.
So,
that's
if it would have
right.
been now, we would probably be okay.
We had not too long ago, dear friends of mine on the show, Rain Pryor and Richard Pryor Jr., and you had involvement, of course, with Richard by creating and producing Pryor's Place, that award-winning television series based on his childhood that aired on CBS. Tell us about the creation of Pryor's Place and bringing Richard in.
Well, I loved Richard there. It was a problem getting him to do it. Fortunately, his lawyer was my lawyer early in his career. So Richard said he would do it, then he said he wouldn't do it. He said he would do it. And so one time he came in with the lawyer, Skip Rittenham, and Skip said, look, he can't do it. I said, we already built sets for $300,000. So the lawyer says, look, I've got a check in my pocket. I'll make it up for $300,000. I said, So he finally did it. And then I got real close to him. And literally, I spoke to him every night, and not about the show, but about life in general. So I got real close. There's a lot of stories that go with it that are kind of personal. When he left, I had a long talk with him, kneeling down by his yellow Rolls Royce, and he said goodbye. And you know what? I never saw him again. That's Hollywood. But
Hollywood.
He was a pro. He is talented. Oh, the big thing he said is, whatever you do, don't call anybody I know to ask them to be on the show. Oh, I will never do that. The minute he left the room, of course I made calls. Robin Williams, Sammy Davis Jr., football players. So we got a lot of people on that too.
That is funny. You did something, had a relationship with Nick at Night and a very successful, is it Puffapalooza? Tell us about that.
Boy, you have a lot of information.
Yeah.
You're good.
Thank you.
Puffapalooza was a marathon that we did at Nick at Night. That was on for like 24 hours. That we had all our on. And then they wanted to sell T-shirts on Puffapalooza. So what happened was they had operators answering the phone for the T-shirts. Realized what was going to happen. We sold like 18,000 T-shirts one night. They couldn't answer the phones. So that was a big success we had at that point. So look, this stuff that I'm telling you, I'm getting tired thinking about what I have to do. But
There's yeah.
so much. I mean, it's wild.
It really, really is.
Grateful. I'm very grateful about what's happening. Nothing to complain about.
No,
I
not at all.
complain about, but I'm not going to complain to you.
You also built, some people might not realize this, you built road stages for top acts like Earth, Wind, and Fire as well, and 25-foot high puppets for the mega pop group In Sync for the January 2000 American Music Awards as well. So working with top acts like Earth, Wind, and Fire, In Sync, from a musical point of view and the staging, and tell us about that. That's a whole other thing that some people might not even know that you did.
Factory that we built for other people. I got Continental Airlines, Buick with John DeLorean, SeaWorld, Ring Brothers, all in the family. So we built all their stuff and built ours. We finally gave it up because basically the art directors were looking for the cheapest place to build. And we couldn't be the cheapest because there were guys building this thing in their garages. So we ultimately gave it up. But I just resurrected the Show Business Factory. I've got it in the Valley. We're pulling it all together. And we got people to run it. And I think it'll be a good thing now. And of course, like I said, Jim, we got a lot of things going on. There are a lot of options, new going on. I show every day, and that's what I do. I show up, and then the rest is up to my higher power.
Yes, absolutely. When you do think back, and I know you've always been, a forward thinker, of course, producing and creating and inspiring, and truly, you're very humble, but you really have left and still do, and your brother, an indelible mark on American culture, society, pop culture, children's programming, movies, music. I mean, you've tapped into so many areas of the arts and of creative expression with humor and wit and color and vibrance. It's really extraordinary. And like I said, when you see something that is a Sid and Marty Krofft production, it has such a unique flavor and feel to it, stamp on it. And it's extraordinary. And I know you've probably heard it a million times from so many different people, but you truly have and continue to make such an impact in the lives of so many people. And I know you're humble about that, and you've received all the awards and accolades and praise. But as somebody who has been touched by what you guys have created and dreamed up and shared with all of us, it's just absolutely extraordinary. And the fact that you're still doing it and still creating and still dreaming things up and collaborating and creating, it's absolutely amazing. It really is, Marty.
You're ready, see. I have 3 things before I split to tell you. So do I have 3 minutes to tell you?
Absolutely. Before you banana split.
So anyway, on March 21st, I was at a supermarket called Gelson's, standing by the bakery. And I had a jacket on that had a very light emblem on the sleeve that said Land of the Lost. So there was a woman there about, 40, 50 years old, that was standing there and came over to me and she said, "Are you Sid or Marty?" So I said, "I'm Marty." She said, "Holy shit, I can't believe it. When my mother finds out she's 85 that I met you, she's gonna forget," I can't use the words, but the words were 4-letter words, her mother. So I said, "Oh, okay." So then I said, "What do you do?" She says, "I'm a writer." Okay. So I said, "Look," trying to do her a favor, I said, "Look, let me tell you what my father said. Never ever give up. Because if you give up on Tuesday, there is no Wednesday. And Wednesday could have been the day." She said, "Oh my God, that's great." So I said, "Yeah, he also said another thing. he said, on your worst day, help somebody else. So that's the way I live. So the last thing, I said, look, let me give you my business card. But I got to tell you something. What's your name? She says, Pamela. I said, you see this card? I gave it to a woman a month ago, and one of my guys said, you won't believe it. She put that card up on eBay and got $100. So the lady said, oh my God, I got this card. She said, so she had my card and she had my email address. And that was it. She left. So that's all I knew. So then I get an email from her, again with the mother. The mother is crapping. The mother is doing this. Okay. So then she says, I hope you write me back. Well, I didn't. So then I'm sitting at a deli with my girlfriend in front of Ventura Boulevard, and a kid walks up, a girl about 20 with tattoos all over her arms, and says, oh, are you Marty? Yeah. My mother loves you. I didn't know what she was talking about. My mother loves you. She said, yeah. The next thing I know, she's showing a FaceTime of the mother. She called her mother, and I didn't know this. My girlfriend's talking back and forth, and that was the end of it. 3 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail with an offer for $4,000 to do a television series, an episode. Okay? And what's the name of that show? You don't get it.
Better thing.
Okay, so the show, so this woman met is the star of the show on FX. She's the producer, she's the writer, she's the director, and she's the star, and they're in their 5th year or 6th year of the show. It's called Better Things, and then Pamela Aldrin. I never heard of her. I find out it's big, but the woman is unbelievable. She came in, that was who I met. So I went and did the show. I got $4,000. She was happy because I prepared for it. I did a show like this once before and I bombed out. They canceled me. So that was, that was months ago. So she said, Marty, I'll do anything you got. So, so if I take Pufnstuf to Broadway, she'll do Witchy Poo. So that's it.
That is amazing. That really is amazing. Do you personally have any characters or shows that are that you've created that are your personal favorites, or do you love them all? Are they like your kids?
Well, right now, today, at this time, I love this show. I'm in the moment.
Thank you.
You know what? There are always some favorites, but that isn't where I'm, that isn't me. Maybe it's my brother, but of course, my first one, Pufnstuf. That's something that's a favorite, but there's so many different things that I could think of, and I thought of some stuff today talking to one of my kids, stuff I never even thought about. If you think these stories, I left the next one for the next time I see you.
Yes, absolutely right. I just want to show you a couple of things. Sherry Larson is watching in Kansas, Marty, and she says, we are so blessed to have had you in our lives. What wonderful memories brought back tonight. Thank you for all you have done over the decades. And Kathleen Walker is watching in New York City, and she says, Marty, thank you for all the wonderful shows and memories. Toby in California says, great stories. And Christine Clifton in North Carolina, Marty, thanks so much for spending time with us, sharing more of your work, which was memory lane for us all. And thanks for bringing us smiles through the years from your creations and shows. Lovity. And Toby says, please come back, please. And countless others who have been commenting throughout. Sherry Larson with her wonderful comment. There's somebody here that...
is, I now know people are watching.
Yes, they are. Yes, they've been commenting and watching throughout.
Nice work.
Yeah, it's so great to have Marty here, and what memories and all the accolades and awards.
Without the fans, we would have had nothing.
There would
the
be
fans
nothing.
you know.
Yes,
And
they
the
are the
beauty of
ones.
it is, you walk down Broadway in New York and stop 10 people, and 5 of them can sing the theme songs. So I know I've done something right.
You have, absolutely. And again, as somebody who is very familiar with your epic work, from the kids shows all the way up, and somebody who works in television myself and radio and broadcast media, truly an honor to have you as my special guest on this episode of the Jim Master Show Live, and somebody that usually joins me towards the end, Marty, that likes to pop in and just wish his best. Mr. George Burns is with us.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Hey,
And
I'll do a
yeah,
whole show on George Burns that was in my life.
did you work with him?
I not only worked a few times, but I had dinner with him a lot.
Yeah.
I used
What
to go
was
to
it?
Tony Martin and Sid
Yeah.
Teresa's house, and they had fabulous people always at dinner, and George and his wife were there once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so George
He
was fabulous.
he
We were in the
was.
same studio, and he used to drive to work, when he was all real. And I mean, come in with that cigar, and I didn't
Yes.
know what about him. The one thing I never knew, he couldn't read. Did you know?
That's what I heard. Yes.
Yeah, he couldn't read. He had to memorize everything. Oh no,
Yes.
this guy was such a talent.
Here's a real talent. My
So
my
I
aunt
also,
was
same time I had dinner with him and his wife, I had dinner with Jack and Mary Benny. They were at
Benny.
the same. Oh yeah, all those come to Tony's
All of
house.
them. My aunt was a collector of dolls, and this got passed down to me, and this came out, I guess, a limited edition when he was 100. So she collected them, and it got passed to me. So we usually show it towards the end with a cigar and his hanky and his and his bow tie. He said, "Marty, you knocked it out of the park tonight, kiddo."
I got to do one thing before I go. I'm going to
Yes.
show you a puppet I'm going to give you. You're going to get
Oh,
rid of George. Here, can you see?
oh my God! Look at this.
Trump and Putin. Can you see it? Am I on?
I see it. I see it.
See it? I just turned it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's it. So that was it. I saved that to last. I was going to do it
Wow.
with them, and I
Yeah.
decided that it was not funny anymore. Okay, so I said, forget it.
Well, I love that, and I also love that Land of the Lost director's chair that you have next to the the Trump and the Putin.
Right.
You're in a
Here, I
it's
got
like
it. I'll show you the rest of it, then we'll go. You see
oh,
that?
look at
All
this.
yeah, and over there, you see all the pops. There's a puppet they put up there with my head. That's it. I don't even know how.
Wow. Are we?
Just cool.
Yeah, you're. You went
Am
to
I
you.
off now?
Well, your audio's still there, but your picture went out. Your picture faded to black.
Right.
Yeah. We just went from television to radio. We hear you, but the video, something probably knocked against the video and took the video out. But that was a purpose. That was a terrific fade to black. I mean, what a big finish there, Marty.
Oh, my guy don't even know how to do it. Okay.
You don't have to. Now it's just a voice from the black hole. Is this your newest production, Marty? The voice from the black hole? Well,
oh, here we are.
you coming back?
Okay, you're back up. Let's see.
You are definitely worth the wait, Marty. That's for sure. Absolutely.
No.
They'll figure it out. Yeah, you've got that team there.
Not today.
This is funny.
You know what?
Yeah. Joan
I'm
says,
in black if you're in the thing.
I'm in the thing. How did that work?
I was supposed to finish. Now you're not even there. He knocked you out now.
Yeah, I see you. I hear you. Yeah. You hear us and see us.
Right.
Joan Sandow says,
What a way
thank you,
to
Marty.
end
This was a lovely evening. Merlin in Canada says, what an amazing life. Thank you, Marty. Come back, please. What an outro. Yes, he faded to black. And look, is that his newest character? Is that what he's going to be? That little round circle? Do you hear us, Marty?
I hear you. But you know what?
That looks like a new character.
This is not going to happen. Okay?
They owe you big time. Your crew owes you big time.
Yeah, my crew.
Here you've done,
Okay, well, you know something.
You've done major productions.
This is not the guy that deals with this, as you can see. Okay? The guy that deals with this is smart. He's at the beach.
This is just so funny with the epic productions that you've created, and you've been reduced to a circle. Marty,
you know what?
You're back. Oh, there you are. See?
I'm up.
Upside down.
Am I going up and down?
Oh, you want a roller coaster?
Why do you walk over there? Well, you know the problem is over here. Here, see? Why up and down? Look what I'm asking.
This is a new show that Marty is debuting on our show.
This is like a joke.
The camera button and nothing happens. Apparently,
he has an excuse. Okay,
it's now delayed.
There's always an excuse for it. It's not his fault.
We could not have scripted this, Marty. It's absolutely epic and fantastic, and the audience is loving it. It's like you're debuting an hour ago. It's like you're debuting a new special or something. You're in a disco.
Blinking. Why is it blinking?
You're there now. Now you're there.
So now, yeah.
Nobody move. Nobody sneeze. I just wanted to say before.
I wanted to leave this on an up. This is a downer.
You're upside down, and
this is a downer.
It was amazing. You're amazing. And again, the audience is getting a kick out of this. It's very funny. They're laughing and they think it's a terrific. I mean, it's of course, Marty and I. Now, should we tell them that you and I had all of that planned to go to black and have the picture go in and out? This was all scripted.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. I just wanted to say once again, Marty, thank you. And I hope at some point, if I'm out on the West Coast on a TV shoot or something, we get a chance to break bread, I would really be honored by that. And also, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me, as I have definitely with you, Marty, tonight.
Okay. My Bill left me with something, at least one thing. It's another promo. If they want to find us on our web, it's sidandmartykrofft.com. Okay.
Sid and Marty Krofft.
Now, that may not work either. Okay. Nothing works here. So don't worry. That's how it looks.
But you never give up. You never give up. But you never give up.
And the biggest one is, on your worst day, help somebody else.
Yes, we talk about that a lot on this show. We talk about that a lot. Absolutely. Life is short and precious, and kindness and empathy is very important, and everybody coming together. And again, the productions you've been a part of bring people together in so many different ways. So it's really beautiful. I really hope that this evening on the Jim Masters Show Live met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as I have with you, Marty.
The show I did, by the way, with Pamela, okay, you know what she did? When she offered me the money, she sent me the script. It was 2 pages, and she did exactly what happened at Gelson's Market when she met me. She's that talented. Yeah. So I did that. It became easier for me to do. But I got to tell you, 5, 6 years on the air, and she's like a new talent.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, she can do anything. But the best of this lady, you got to have your people watch her, is that she is the nicest person. Everybody on the set, she treats first class.
That's the way to do it.
Means it too. Yes. So you know what? She gets more out of them than anybody.
That's the way to do it. Before we go, I just want to show you, Christine Clifton says, wow, what a close to the show with Marty. Marty is such a fantastic storyteller. Merlin in Canada is laughing. Kathleen says, oh my God. Anne in California, best show ever. Christine says, Marty is even upside down. Great production, effects, value like magic. And Joan Sandow says, Marty, you're a joy. I love your humor. This was
For
wonderful,
people in
Marty.
Canada, I heard there was one. I want you to know, I was born in Montreal.
That's right. That's right. Canadians, right? Exactly right. And she's in, Merlin is in the Ontario. She's in the Ontario or Toronto area there. Yes.
Close to Toronto.
I had an absolute ball, and it was an honor and a privilege to chat with you and have you as a special guest on my show, Marty. I truly appreciate all the time, and you're welcome back anytime. I'd love to stay in touch. Congratulations on all. Looking forward to more. And again, truly, I enjoyed this immensely, and I hope you did as well.
I did. You're a nice person. You're talented, and you know what? You're like me. You're a survivor.
Yeah. That's right.
If you don't survive, nothing happens. If you make no mistakes, that means you've done nothing.
That's right.
Don't
Exactly.
don't make the same mistake again.
Learn the first time. Marty, you're the
All
best.
right.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and thanks for all the time. And again, thanks for all the years of incredible entertainment. We look forward to more. Best wishes to you and the family, okay?
Well, I'm glad my friend Harlan Bowl told me to do this. If you know him, he's a super person.
He's wonderful.
Very
guy.
guy.
Absolutely
Everybody
right.
else is my PR. So if you haven't read about it, he's not doing a good job.
Well, you're here on our show, and it's been a blessing, my friend. You take care, okay?
Bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye, Marty. Bye-bye now. Now you really go. There you go. There you go.
I still have you.
Well, like you said, you can't kill Sid and Marty Krofft's production, so the Jim Masters show is still here. I've learned from the best. You're back.
You know what you're doing. I want to say goodbye.
Okay.
He's turning you on now. Now you're on, and I'm on. You don't know what you're doing. You know that. Don't ever tell me how to do this again. Fortunately, you didn't screw this up an hour ago.
You know, what can you say? I mean, did you hear his last line? Fortunately, you didn't screw this up an hour ago. He's not talking to me. He's talking to his friend, his assistant there, who actually was really, really terrific at, who doesn't normally set these things up, you know, from the technological. There is some, we don't use Zoom. So there is some technological involvement on our end and on the guest's end to make sure everything works out right. But to hear it was very funny to hear him when you didn't see him too. Like I said, how come he didn't do stand-up comedy? He should have done stand-up comedy. This was better than what I could have ever, you know, planned for. I knew it was going to be terrific. You know, he doesn't really do a lot of these. And so this was, and being a television person and a radio person and, you know, having been raised on that, but also working in the industry and knowing their work, Sid and Marty Krofft, this was really a delight. And I know for all of you, because I'm seeing all the comments that are coming up and that have been flowing throughout the entire evening and episode, this really was something special. He's an icon. Very humble about it too, very humble, but funny with that dry sort of sense of humor. But some of the comedy, I mean, really, really amazing. I knew it was going to be terrific. This is going to go down in history, I think. You know, it wasn't, again, like I said, we don't just do, these aren't interviews. These are conversations. There's a lot of interview shows out there where, you know, they just pop on. They just say, all right, now I'm going to talk to this person. Here's what they did. Here's what they're about. Thanks for being with us and gone. We have a lot of fun on this show. This is done like a television series, really. If you're watching for the first time, you're like, well, gee, is this just an interview show? No, we really do it like an entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series, like the old school talk shows, variety, comedy, humor, poignant moments, deep moments, moving moments, music, and food. And there's something for everybody on this series. And that's what I want. I wouldn't want just to talk about the same topics on every episode, have the same genre of guests on every episode. There are some shows that do that. They specialize in just that topic or that kind of guest. Or I'm all about life. I'm all about us coming together. And you can't script this out loud, Merlin says. Merlin, are you falling off your mauve-colored chair, rolling around the floor right now, laughing? I don't doubt it. Sherry says, thank you, Jim, for another wonderful show. I love all of them, but this is my number one favorite. It brought back a lot of memories too, didn't it? With those iconic shows. His humor, his stories were fantastic. So many shows you forgot about. And the first part too, where he was muted. Now here he is, an epic producer of a multitude of television shows, not just all the kids shows, but he was talking about epic series and lots more, building major sets for NSYNC and Earth, Wind and Fire and all of this. And yet, he starts out with the mic muted and then his picture. Wasn't it really hilarious when they were trying to get his picture back up, his video? He was upside down, then he was sideways, then he was there, then he was gone, then he was upside down again. It was as if he was doing some sort of a new Land of the Lost show or something from the 60s or 70s and updating it into 2021 and beyond. It was like something new he was doing. Who knows? Maybe he was testing this out. Maybe that's going to be a new show where he's just upside down and sideways and whew, it was like he was on a roller coaster, but it was fantastic. And he was concerned that it wasn't, as smooth, but he knows just with some incredible specials that he's been involved in, and his brother Sid, of course, that, you just roll with all that. I just want to show you a couple of things. There is Marty, of course, and Sid. Sid is on the left, Marty on the right, picking up their Emmys. This is way back during the H.R Pufnstuf days. And of course, you've always seen Sid and Marty Krofft Presents. There's H.R Pufnstuf. Again, if you're somebody who's saying, I don't understand, I've never seen any of these shows, I know nothing about any of this, just Google their names, Google all the shows that they've created on television in the United States that, of course, have transferred internationally as well, including movie versions. He talked about, H.R Pufnstuf on Broadway, Land of the Lost epic as well. Again, these are still talked about shows. And again, concentrating, on these shows that a lot of kids remember, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters and all. But they, of course, responsible for many, many, many television productions as well. Puppeteers, as much as epic and iconic producers of television. There is, again, Sid and Marty. And there's Sid and Marty with H.R Pufnstuf as well. You've always seen these logos, Sid and Marty Krofft Pictures and Sid and Marty Krofft Television Productions. Now, when you watch these, you'll look for that at the end of their shows. Lidsville, he talked about, and this special as well. And of course, the Brady Bunch Hour, which was not the Brady Bunch television series that was created by Sherwood Schwartz. This was actually a variety show where they did song and dance and skits and all kinds of things. And, a lot of production value and a big swimming pool in the middle. Of just, if you just scroll around on Google or YouTube and you'll see clips of all of these series as well. And a lot of them still, are on some of the nostalgic channels, like occasionally on channels like Decades, Antenna TV, Cozy TV, Me TV, and others. They are the Hollywood Walk of Fame stars. with Donnie and Marie, of course. The Bugaloos, again, some of you may remember some of these. And again, some of these might be brand new to you. He talked about creating the costuming, banana splits as well, another one. They were very, very popular. It wasn't their show, it was Hanna-Barbera's show, but they did have involvement in it, which was great. Again, this is another one. There's Bob Denver, of course, who you remember is also Gilligan. There's Chuck McCann as well, but Gilligan, who we've talked about here on the show. They worked on Donnie and Marie. They worked on so many specials and so many shows. The list goes on and on, gang. We didn't even touch all of them. But in the time that, we worked with here, we touched upon quite a few. He was wonderful, really, really wonderful. Let's take a look at some of these comments here. Wonderful show. Good night, everyone. Mary Bishop watching in Florida. Thank you very much, Mary. Ann says, Jim, your shows never disappoint. Much gratitude for your brilliant show. Thank you very much. Keep spreading the word, gang. Tell everybody about our series. Share the levity. More and more people viewing and watching helps us. More and more people that subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the notification bell so you never miss anything. Give us a like if you really liked this episode while you're right now watching on our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, like, and leave a comment right underneath this episode on our YouTube channel. That helps us. YouTube sees that, and then they blast this out further, and more people can view it. So we really appreciate that. And all the episodes you've enjoyed. This was amazing. I loved it. Thanks, Jim. I know, Kathleen, you were very excited about this. Took you back in time. And there's probably a lot of shows that you didn't know that they were involved in. Absolutely. Good stuff. Sherry Larson says, still singing the theme to H.R Pufnstuf. And Anne says, such beautiful childhood memories. Thank you very much, Anne. And everybody who's watching live and commenting, but also those of you who are watching this later. We know there's a lot of you who, enjoy our series, and you don't, you're not here when we're live. You watch in the archives. That's perfectly fine. It's nice to have you here. I need to watch what I missed. I'm sitting in front of the fire at the Disneyland Hotel. Very snazzy. Really nice, Anne. That is terrific. Enjoy. Christine Clifton says, nothing better than live shows. The show ended as a hoot and a half after the brilliant conversation. Epic episode, Jim, with all the exclamation points. Thank you very much, Christine. I appreciate that, and levity to you as well. Let's see if we can go back a little bit so we don't miss anything here. Sherry Larson says, thank you, Jim, for another wonderful show. I love all of them, but this is my number one favorite. His humor and stories were fantastic. So many shows I forgot about. Thank you, Sherry. Toby says, one of my favorites by far. Kathleen says, unforgettable. Toby says, he broke at Jim Masters TV. Merlin is still, tearing up from her smiles. Anne says, loved it. Irish 43 says, thank you, Marty. I grew up on all your shows. This show was fantastic. Thank you very much. Tell everybody you know about the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Invite them to watch, invite them to participate. I love it. And Kathleen says, you're awesome, Marty. Thanks for being here. Well, thank you for being here as well. We love all of you. We always have a good time together, regardless of the topic or whatever it is that we are doing here live on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Yes. Actually, there's been several episodes, if you go back in the archives, where I end up laughing pretty hysterically. But this particular one, just with the way he was commenting and the way the last line, that he was saying about, good thing you didn't screw it up an hour ago or whatever, he's talking to his assistant there, or, it's just really funny. Thank you very much, Kathleen, and everybody. It's been a very busy day. I was on PBS today. We were filming specials for upcoming PBS television specials and concert specials and lots more. And then I had a television shoot with the Lifestyle Travel TV series that I also host and have hosted for years. And we were at a restaurant sampling pizza, brick oven pizza and macaroni and cheese with pulled pork on top. Yeah, I had a lot of hats on today, hosting this show, then hosting the Lifestyle Travel TV series, and then hosting at PBS, which I've done for years. And we had a radio series all in the same day. I'm going to sleep very well tonight, and I hope you do too. Again, I say tonight because we're live, and that's for the audience that's watching live right now. For those of you who are watching this later, it could be any time of the day. But thank you very much for being with us. Continue to comment on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. You can find me on all of those places, those platforms at Jim Masters TV. Of course, right here on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Christine Clifton says, thanks, Jim, for one of our favorite episodes tonight. Good night, Jim, and all. See you tomorrow. Lovely hugs. Yes, we have 2 shows tomorrow, and we're on at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, with a fabulous actress and producer. And then tomorrow night, the graceful tenor is joining us live. He's going to perform. Vittorio De Carlo is going to be joining us. He's the graceful tenor. He's originally from Italy. He's going to be with us live. He lives here in the United States in the Northeast, in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. He's going to be with us live. Sherry Larson says, good night, everyone. Hugs to all. You as well. To Sherry and to Anne, good night as well. And those of you who do the super stickers and super chat and all that during the show, thank you so much as well. When you do that during our shows, that really helps us and helps support us. And we really, really appreciate that. All the hours and work we put into these series that we love doing for all of you. Have a great night, Kathleen Walker. Good night, all, and hugs. Jim, you look terrific. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. You guys are the best. Really know how to make us feel good, and hopefully we make you feel good as well. Don't forget to give us a like on this episode and leave a comment for us at Jim Masters TV. We'd appreciate that. And one more time, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Lots of laughs, great memories, and so much more with our very special guest, iconic television producer, creator, puppeteer, and so much more from Sid and Marty Krofft Productions, the one and only Marty Krofft, live from Hollywood, California, with all those stories and memories and lots of laughs. We'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Be well wherever you're watching around the world. Thanks for watching. Share the lovely. Tell everybody about our series. We'd really love that. And just take care of yourselves. Love one another. And as we always say, we've got a little bit of a ritual here that we do, before we go. Of course, we say, help us grow and share the lovity and give us some love on our channel, Jim Masters TV. And we did a lot of smiling tonight, right, gang? Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the lovity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. Mine, of course, loving family and friends. Also love the ocean, as you guys know. And also my work in television, radio, stage, and film over the years, too, is another Zen place. Cool stuff, gang. Other episodes, Anita and Ruth Pointer from the Pointer Sisters, they were on recently. Judy Tenuta is with us, the comedy legend. Iconic television and film actress and singer Linda Pearl. If you didn't see that episode, check it out. We talked about the Osmonds. Again, you can see all these episodes right here at Jim Masters TV. Well, David Osmond, son of Alan and nephew of Donnie and Marie, he was a guest on this show as well. He's also the host of the kids show Wonderama as well. And great guy, really great guy. And lots of shows coming up, gang, for all of you. So take care. We'll see you again soon. And thanks for being with us and all this lovity today on JMS Live, the Jim Masters Show Live. Just looking at more of these comments. There's so many of them coming in here. Thanks for all of them. We'll try to read some of them later as well. Leave a comment on our YouTube channel too. We would love that. That would be great. All right. You take care. Be well. We'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Cheers.